All right, so here's the story. Just got off the train. Car has been parked in a covered garage all day. So far, living the dream. And then we go outside and are greeted with reflectionitis. Welcome to life as a Chevrolet Equinox EV owner. So like on a sunny day like today, it cuts down, I don't know, maybe 30% of the vision through the windshield. Is really pronounced. And everyone who is an Equinox owner has mentioned this issue. And anyone who's driven this car, my wife, my son, one of the first things they say, what's up with the reflection? Well, now there's a fix. Okay, now this problem is unique to the Chevrolet Equinox EV. And that's the service bulletin only covers the Chevrolet Equinox EV, specifically in the model years 2024 and 2025. Apparently they found out about this and they fixed this in model year 2026. The service bulletin came out in August of 2025, so I guess that was soon enough in order to make the adjustment for the 2026 model year. Now, you might say, well, why is this a big deal? And the big deal is it was the third most popular electric vehicle in the United States at the time, and there are 87,000 of these driving around the road. So there is that. Plus, other people have similar types of problems, so I'll go over some of the solutions that you have available to you. Now, in this particular case, there's basically three choices. One, you could use polarized sunglasses, like what I'm wearing right now. What kind are these? These are Maui Jim polarized sunglasses. When I put these on, the glare immediately disappears. Apparently, because the polarization goes vertical, anything that is horizontal gets taken away from my vision. And as soon as I put these on, the problem goes away. Now, you might say, well, you have to put on glasses every time to get rid of the glare. It's actually not so bad because the glare is only really prominent on sunny days when you might be wearing sunglasses anyway. The second option is you can get a third-party knockoff dash mat, which a lot of people have been doing prior to this service bulletin being released, that goes over. And the reason why I didn't do that is because there's certain areas in this front dash that are actually used for, like, there's a speaker here, there's the charging light and things. So although they're made for the Equinox and they do have different form factors, I just didn't like the idea of a third party. So basically I was doing option one and then option three. And the third option is just live with it. And basically lethargy took over for me. I just lived with it. Didn't want to get the third party thing. It didn't feel right. So those were my options. And if it ever got really bad, what I did is I just put on my polarized sunglasses. And like if I was going on a long trip up on a sunny day down the interstate, that's normally what I did, and it solved the problem for me. So let's go take a look at the service bulletin and then do an unboxing before we actually put the solution for this that General Motors is providing in place.
Okay, so here's the information on the Technical Service Bulletin. It's 25-NA-069, a little bit hard to find, but it is a legitimate technical service bulletin. And these are the part numbers that you can get from your parts department. You get them, I guess, through other sources, but I got them directly through my parts department. And it says 31, part number 31 for models without heads-up display, and 32 for models with heads-up display. Basically what that means is the 3RS and the 3LT are the models with the heads-up display. And if you have heads-up display, you know who you are. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you're in the model 31. And that's the one that I got. I got a 2RS, so I do not have the heads-up display. And one thing to keep in mind, although we're talking about a fix for a General Motors car that has a very specific issue with glare on the windshield is not an uncommon situation. So just be aware that if you do have a glare issue on your windshield, you can neutralize it by using polarized sunglasses as a easy fix. Otherwise, you'll have to go with some kind of dashboard padding solution instead. So I'm pretty psyched about having this now installed. As I said, these are only for model years 2024 and 2025, of which there were 87,000 of those driving around the roads of the United States and Canada. and a very successful car. It was General Motors' most sold electric vehicle, and I think it still is their most sold electric vehicle to date, and so a ton of them driving down there. But it also has application for problems with windshield glare for other cars as well.
Okay, here's the part as it came from the dealership. I paid $67.19 for this. I thought it was going to be closer to $40. I'm not quite sure why the discrepancy, but it is the correct part number, and I will put a picture of this up on the screen. Let's see what comes in the box. And there's other ways of getting OEM parts for General Motors. What I do is, my dealership is pretty close, so I just go to the deal. I call them up and I order it over the phone, or sometimes if I'm in the area, I'll just swing by the parts department and get the order there, or I'll give them a call or something. So, box in a box trick. And a couple of Velcro stickers, a couple of alcohol wipes, and the actual solution to the problem that has some built-in stickers already in place. So I guess these are extra stickers. No instruction manual, so I'm guessing this is going to be idiot-proof. We're going to put that to the test. So double-sided tape, I'm guessing we just take the double-sided tape off and put it down, and that will provide the Velcro removal should we need to remove it once it gets in place. Okay, let's take a look at the installation of this, which should be pretty straightforward. So I kind of keep my car pretty clean, so I'm pretty sure there's no need to wipe down the dash. I'm just going to go ahead and start taking off these double-sided tape for the Velcro. And I think what I'll do is start on one side and then work my way around, and I'm guessing it goes this way. Why is there a hole there? That's very interesting. Okay, so it goes there, and then this comes off, and I know I'm probably blocking the camera view, but stand by, we'll get through this together. Okay, there's that. Those pieces. Let's go around to the other side and pull it across. I'll start working my way in. Yeah, that lines up good. All right, so it's pretty apparent what the plan is here. What I don't want to do is make the mistake of positioning it wrong, because then I'll have to stare at my failure for the rest of my ownership time with this car, and that will make me sad. My inner monologue will be constantly criticizing, and then I'll have to go find my center at a yoga center or something. Okay, this one I'm going to stick right there and then right there. So interesting, yes, we have cutouts where there needs to be cutouts is basically the concept here, and I don't think the third-party dash mats would take into account the same precision that the OEM one is providing. So there's a lot of play in this. I'm not going to bore you with the tediousness of doing double-sided tape on Velcro connectors. So I'm going to pause the video here, and then we'll look at the finished product. Okay, the part from the service bulletin, which is the solution for this issue, is now installed. Let me grab the camera and go handheld, and we'll see if it actually fixed the problem. See if the engineers at GM actually know what they're talking about. And yeah, look at how clean and crisp that is. It looks nice. A little bit of bump there that I'm going to smooth out. But yeah, no reflection. I'm impressed. Another thing I want to go through just as a quick tail end is some of the additional features that I've gotten, or add-ons that I've gotten for the Equinox EV. When I had my Tesla, I really appreciated the screen protector in matte. because you don't have to constantly wipe. When you get a matte screen protector, you don't have to deal with fingerprints. So one of the first things I bought was a matte screen protector, and it came in a 2-pack, but I don't ever touch this area, so I didn't put it here, and I left that a little bit crisp. And then over here is my mat where all my fingers are constantly touching, and it keeps that nice and clean. So there's that, and we now obviously have the OEM part installed in order to fix the glare problem on the windshield. That is in place. Let's go over a couple other accessories that I got for the Equinox EV. Roof racks that will take the cargo carrier that I have for camping and whatnot. I actually use it for a couple of things. You could use it for helping people move for extra cargo storage. You could use it for, I use it mostly for camping supplies, but you could also use it for hauling bigger purchases around, things like that. And then I got this cargo net because I don't like things rolling around. When you have an SUV trunk space, things tend to roll around a lot. I like the Tesla sub-trunk, and this does have a sub-trunk, which I could use, but what I wanted was this shelf, and this is where it gets kind of complicated. This is a privacy shade for the back, and you can see it is OEM designed to be only halfway into the back of the trunk, leaving this other space open. And the reason that is because they expect you to get this tray. Now, let me show you when this tray is out what it looks like. Right, so nice big trunk, and the sunshade hooks in halfway across, so they expect you to have this tray. But the funny thing about this tray, I don't know what the engineers were thinking. So there's the tray installed into the slots that is provided, and this was gotten from the parts department at the General Motors dealership as well. This is the OEM part. But if I want to get back over here, I have to like lean over the shelf into this back, and then I can't really reach unless you have ginormous arms, or I can come in under here and get it, but then it's like this thing's blocking it. This should have been back here. So this tray should have been pushed all the way in back with the sunshade slotted a little bit forward, in my opinion, is what should have happened. This sunshade should be basically here, being pulled to here, and this cargo shelf should be all the way in the back. That way I can get into the areas. I could have a little shelf for like groceries. Basically, that's what I use this for. My wife and I are empty nesters, so we don't buy a lot of groceries. And then it just keeps them from rolling around. So that's what I use it for. It's just in the wrong space, in my opinion. So I don't know, a little bit of a design flaw there. And then I have, as I said, this cargo netting for my daily grind items that umbrella and raincoat and things like that. So those are some of the little added accessories I got for the Equinox EV. Okay, so if you were like me, who was just being lethargic and not doing anything about the situation and just kind of living with it or using polarized sunglasses, and you're an Equinox EV owner, model years 2024-25, there is now a viable solution with a valid service bulletin, technical service bulletin, with a OEM part number associated with it that you can get. So at least there's more options available. And if you're out there and you have glare from other types of vehicles shining on the windshield and you want a quick fix, just reach for a pair of polarized sunglasses. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching.